I'm back, everyone. I know it's been a hot minute, but I haven't been watching many movies recently because I've been working on my book. I finished the first draft a month ago, and I'm starting work on the second draft now. So I've been a busy man, focusing a lot of my attention onto that. But I still have watched a couple movies since I did my last batch of reviews, and I'll talk about them now. One of which you can tell from the title is this one. I'll cut to the chase. This is not centered properly. It needs to be satisfactory to me. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. Sorry. It could probably even stand to be over here just a tad. So, Kubo and the Two Strings. This is a movie from 2016. 2016. This is a couple of years old. It was on Netflix. You may have heard from one of my older reviews that I started watching this, and I literally had 10 minutes left, and one day, maybe like 3 weeks ago, I was like, all right, I'm going to finish this last 10 minutes. So unfortunately, this is all my fault. This review is going to be a little bizarre because I watched 95% of this movie, or 90% of this movie, months ago, and then I watched the ending somewhat recently. So I forgot a lot of the details, but I can recall the things that I liked and disliked, whatever they may be, from memory. So I'll just do that, and I'll keep it quick. It's not really going to be a spoilery review. It's going to be a quick one. It's bite sized, right? I like this movie a lot. It didn't blow me away in any particularly new fashion. I thought the stop motion was nice. It was very interesting. A lot of people, I think, criticize the story for being too simple, unremarkable, but that's actually one of the elements that I liked about the movie. I always appreciate a story that is told. I may have mentioned this in a previous review. I don't remember what movie it was for. I don't know. Maybe in The Road, actually. A story that's about something very small and intimate, usually the relationship between a handful of characters or two characters, but it's told through the scope of something much larger, much greater, which is one of the reasons why BioShock Infinite resonated so much with me, because it's actually a very, very personal, intimate, small story, but just exploded outward into this massive scope that just like further intensifies the resonance of that core relationship of the story. And this movie has the same thing. It's very simple, it's very much about a little family. It starts with Kubo and I think his mother washing up somewhere, and he kind of takes care of his mom, who I think has gone blind or lost something. Oh no, Kubo's the one who lost his eye. I forget what his mom was, just kind of like brain dead, so he was like taking care of her as he was growing up. He would go into the village down the coast, and he'd play with his two-stringed guitar and make like little origami figures dance, and he'd tell stories. And I think that's how like they got money for food and things like that. That's how the movie begins. But then it kind of escalates from there, and it goes almost Miyazaki-esque in terms of like fantasy, otherworldly, traveling through different like dream-like states, very much in that Miyazaki vein. And it just tells a really simple story. I can't recall anything specific that I didn't like at all. I mean, it is kind of unremarkable of a story, but I think it's fine. I think it's just a real smooth watch. It's a real easy watch. I think kids could get a lot out of it. It's very entertaining to watch. I'd say it's visually entertaining to watch, and the story has just enough momentum to keep you going to the end. It's a movie you might not like unless you just dial into it and just love everything that's going on in it. You might not feel like watching it again for quite a while. But this is one that I wouldn't be opposed to like owning and seeing again 10 years later. Maybe when my daughter's a little older, she might like it. But that's about it. I don't really have a whole lot of negative to say about it. It's another instance, I think, of a movie being as good as it can possibly be for what it is. If you laid out all of the mechanisms and principles, properties that this movie is, the quality of all those properties are pretty top notch. But sometimes changing a property out for a different property would be a good idea, to improve the movie, if that makes sense. It's as good as it can be for the makeup of what it is. So yeah, I'd recommend it if it looks interesting to you. I think it's on Netflix. It should still be. That's where I watched it. So give it a look. And thank you, everyone, for watching.